Donald Trump has a knack for always making headlines, but on the other hand, his wife Melania Trump managed to stay out of the spotlight even when she was the First Lady of the United States. So, how did these two polar opposites end up together? Despite the public's mixed opinion about former President Donald Trump, the Americans seem to have a soft spot for Melania Trump. We're here to uncover the nitty-gritty details about her life and how she ended up in the White House. Hold on as we explore what no one realizes about Melania Trump. But to make sense of it all, we must start from the very beginning. Childhood and early life. Melania was born on April 26, 1970, in the now former Yugoslavia. Her humble and modest childhood is one of the reasons why so many Americans relate to Melania and like her. Her parents belonged to a middle-class family and worked hard to support their family. Her dad, Viktor Kanovs, was a car dealer, and her mother, Amalia Kanovs, worked in textile manufacturing. Many people think that the former First Lady's rise to fame began not because she was married to the President of the United States, but because of her relatable lifestyle. Although Melania Trump was enrolled at the University of Ljubljana, she was set to major in architecture and design, but decided not to complete her degree. During this time, Melania began to show interest in fashion and began low-key modeling gigs. This explains why she has a unique taste and can pull off any style. Well, now that we have covered the early beginning of Melania Trump's life, let's see how she ended up in the White House. How did Melania Trump and Donald Trump meet? Because it's not every day that you see a woman from Europe getting married to a guy who ends up being elected as the president of one of the biggest and strongest nations. Modeling career. Melania Trump gained the spotlight when she began modeling, and her tall figure and striking features made her stand out. Melania's modeling journey started in her hometown of Sevnica, where she began participating in local fashion shows and photo shoots. Her beauty and poise caught the attention of modeling scouts, leading her to sign with a modeling agency in Milan, Italy, in her late teens. Melania's natural beauty, height, she is 5 feet 11 inches or 180 centimeters, and distinct features helped her stand out in the competitive world of fashion modeling. She started appearing in several fashion magazines and campaigns all over Europe. After living for a while in Milan, she moved to Paris and gained even more recognition for her work. Melania Trump's modeling career played an important role in creating her public image before becoming the First Lady of the United States. But there's one thing about her life before modeling that remains suspicious. Most people don't know about her childhood in Slovenia because not too many details have ever been reported. We just know she has an older sister and her father passed away in 2016. But we still have no clue why she dropped out of school and started showing interest in fashion. Moving to the United States. In the mid-1990s, Melania made the life-changing decision to move to New York City, where she aimed to further her career and pursue new opportunities in the American fashion industry. However, everything changed in 1996 when she decided to move to New York City. Being the youngest child of two blue-collar professionals, Melania had no idea how her future was going to turn out. During the 90s, the metropolitan city of New York was famous for its fashion shows and runaways, so Melania Trump fit right in. She gained a lot of success working as a model and made a name for herself by working for famous fashion designers. But she steered clear of the controversial and party-filled lifestyle of models. Instead, she showed a level of sophistication that only a future First Lady could have. Throughout her modeling career, Melania worked with prominent photographers and fashion houses, gracing the pages of magazines such as Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Vanity Fair. She also appeared in advertising campaigns for well-known brands like Ralph Lauren, Versace, and Dolce & Gabbana. Melania's modeling career gave her the opportunities to travel the world, meet influential figures in the fashion industry, and experience the glamour and excitement of high-fashion events. Her success as a model helped establish her as a prominent figure in the fashion world, but also paved the path for her future endeavors in business and philanthropy. While Melania's modeling career may have taken a back seat after she became the First Lady in 2017, her experiences in the fashion industry undoubtedly shaped her public persona and played a role in her unique identity as a public figure. Melania's elegance, style, and poise continue to shape her public image, reflecting her background and accomplishments as a successful model. Relationship with Donald Trump. For those of us who don't know, Donald Trump started as a real estate mogul and was a public figure for some time. He even made several cameos in a couple of TV shows. Donald Trump began his career working for his father, Fred Trump, in the family's real estate development company, Elizabeth Trump and Son. He eventually took over the company, renamed it the Trump Organization, and expanded its operations into various sectors including real estate development, construction, hospitality, and entertainment. Trump's business ideas included the construction of famous buildings such as the Trump Tower in New York City and the Trump International Hotel and Tower that's located in Chicago. Trump's interest in the real estate empire had properties in major cities across the United States and also around the world. He helped develop all types of residential buildings, commercial properties, hotels, and golf courses, and he would also often put his name and brand on these properties to promote his public image and successful businessman persona. Only a couple of years after moving to New York, Melania crossed paths with Donald Trump for the first time in 1998 at a fashion party in New York City.
To discuss the media, how did you two meet?
We met in New York, 1998. It was a fashion week, September 1998.
The couple was introduced by some of their mutual friends as they both belonged to the same social groups. The exact details of their first encounter are not that clear. Melania was able to catch Donald Trump's attention with her beauty and grace, and so the two quickly hit it off.
I went crazy. I said, I was actually supposed to meet somebody else, and there was this great supermodel sitting next to Melania, and I was supposed to meet the supermodel, and they were saying, look, there's so-and-so. I said, forget about her. Who's the one on the left? And it was Melania.
Although they had a few things in common, they belonged to two completely different backgrounds and had a huge age gap. But soon after meeting, their connection turned romantic. After several years of being in a relationship, Donald Trump proposed to Melania in 2004 with a 15-carat diamond ring, and they got engaged. They tied the knot in a fancy ceremony at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, back in January 2005. Many celebrities, politicians, and business leaders attended the wedding, and it was shown by the media. Public's reaction to the newly married couple. The wedding received a lot of media coverage, with journalists and paparazzi rushing to take pictures of every moment of the event. From the decorations to the celeb-filled guest list, Melania and Donald's nuptials reflected their status as one of the most famous power couples. Melania became the third wife of Donald Trump, and that's when her role as his partner and soon-to-be the First Lady began, and her life changed in ways she could never imagine. There was a clear difference between their backgrounds. Melania, with her confident attitude and sparkling beauty, while Donald Trump was a prominent real estate tycoon and famous public figure. Their whirlwind romance was seen at many high-profile events, such as fashion shows and social gatherings, where they were often spotted together. Melania's elegant and sophisticated nature fit right in with Donald's extroverted persona. This was one of the reasons behind the public's fascination with them. Marriage to Donald Trump. For Melania, her marriage to Donald Trump ended up putting her into the spotlight in ways she had never even imagined before. As the wife of a billionaire businessman and future president of the United States, Melania found herself drowning in a world of politics, philanthropy, and public controversies. Her role as Donald Trump's wife brought both opportunities and challenges. Melania took over the responsibilities of a political partner and stayed by her husband's side to attend events and represent the White House. But throughout, she didn't lose sight of her own interests. That's why their relationship also stood out. While Donald was busy with his political campaigns, Melania was busy pursuing her own dreams, such as advocating for children's health and fighting for her loved ones. However, Melania's time as the First Lady was not without some nasty controversies. She faced a lot of backlash for her fashion choices, public appearances, and awkward distance from the political world. Despite all these challenges, Melania was able to handle her role with grace and poise, maintaining her composure even when the media was being cruel to her. Before Melania Trump's relationship with Donald Trump became an important topic for the media, her dating history was mostly private. Melania was working as a successful model and getting recognized in the fashion industry. As a rising talent in the modeling world, Melania made sure to keep her personal life out of the public eye and stay focused on her career. Dating history. When Melania and Donald Trump's relationship began to get really serious, her past relationships and dating history became a topic of interest for the media and the public. There was a lot of wild speculation and rumors about her previous romantic relationships, and this was all made worse by exaggerated tabloid headlines and gossip columns that tried to uncover her past. Given Melania's shy personality and need to stay private, she tried to stay away from talking to the press about any of these rumors directly. Because of her upbringing in a modest environment in Slovenia, she learned the value of privacy. She only focuses on her relationship with Donald and her growing family. Melania's commitment to her role as a supportive wife to Donald Trump and a dedicated mother to their son Barron stayed the same even after all the challenges and scandals surrounding her past. Does this make you wonder if she ever regretted her decision to marry a public figure like Donald Trump? We can never know for sure, but her need for privacy shows what kind of life she always wanted. Whether it was by pure chance or destined to be, Melania met Donald and her entire life changed overnight. Melania's need for privacy. While unproven claims and cruel tabloid headlines tried to paint a scandalous picture of Melania's previous dating history, the public still didn't know the truth. She decided to keep her personal affairs private, but this just added more mystery to her past relationships, so people kept spreading the rumors. Melania Trump didn't let go of her dignity and confidence and ignored all gossip and rumors because, at the end of the day, she was still the First Lady, right? Despite the challenges and controversies that surrounded her, this was a huge change for her because before Donald Trump, the media wasn't following her every move. Her relationship with Trump put her in the spotlight, but also gave the public a reason to look into her previous relationships. During Melania Trump's rise to fame, she faced her fair share of tragedies and controversies that had the public's attention. In 2006, Melania gave birth to her son, Barron William Trump, and began her journey as a mother. Public backlash. Melania Trump's time as First Lady of the United States started in 2016, and she obviously faced a unique set of challenges to deal with. But she still managed to start her role with a lot of grace, although she kept facing backlash about her fashion choices, shy demeanor, and disconnect from the world of politics. Why was the public bothered by her fashion choices? With her background in modeling and fashion, she had a sense of style and elegance that she carried to the White House. However, her unique choices of clothing started debates in the media outlets. Critics gave her negative feedback about her wardrobe, pulling apart her outfits for any clues regarding her personal time. This would happen the most during high-profile events or any international visits. But even after the occasional backlash, she was still seen as sophisticated because she had a distinct fashion sense. Melania's controversies. One of the most infamous controversies involving Melania Trump happened during the 2016 Republican National Convention, when her speech sounded quite similar to a speech that was given by Michelle Obama at the 2008 Democratic National Convention. The public accused Melania of copying the speech, which led to more controversy and put both her and Donald Trump in a negative light. Another controversy surrounding Melania Trump was her shy personality and how she didn't have that much of a public profile. Unlike the previous First Ladies, she preferred a more private life so she could avoid the spotlight whenever possible. Americans were not used to this type of demeanor and naturally considered it rude. People even thought she was above being the First Lady. So it gave the media more things to talk about. Melania's shy nature and distance from politics also made people wonder if she was happy being the First Lady or not. She was involved in some traditional First Lady duties, such as hosting events at the White House and attending functions. But she tried to stay away from expressing her political opinions. She only paid interest to her own goals, such as trying to fight cyberbullying and promoting children's health with the help of her Be Best campaign. Melania Trump's Be Best campaign started in May 2018, but it seems like the media could never let her rest because she was questioned so many times. People thought that she wasn't sincere, and since Donald Trump had a reputation of being a bully, Melania was simply being a hypocrite. This makes you wonder if the poor lady simply got a lot of hate because of being married to an infamous guy. How can a First Lady fight against bullying when her own husband's behavior on social media goes against her campaign? She was called a hypocrite, and people wanted her to talk about these issues publicly, but she chose to stay silent. Moving on, in June 2018, Melania Trump was seen wearing a jacket with the words, "I really don't care, do you?" written on the back when she was visiting immigrant children who were being held at the US-Mexico border. Her outfit choice led to a public outrage, and she got a lot of criticism because many people thought that she was being insensitive and didn't care about immigrants. Many people forget she's an immigrant herself, so her thoughts on immigration policies created by her husband's administration received criticism. On the other hand, some people hated her because of her immigration history. People raised questions about how she came to the United States and began working here. The public also claimed that she was receiving special treatment and avoiding the immigration laws. The thing about Melania was that she would often support certain ideas while her husband would support the entire opposite. For instance, she talked about keeping families together at the border, but according to critics, Donald Trump wished nothing but the worst for immigrant families. People wanted to know if she could ever challenge her husband's policies. One of the most recent controversies happened during the pandemic, after Melania's response showed her lack of knowledge and leadership during this crisis. The public questioned her absence from public meetings about the pandemic. She acted like the complete opposite of all the previous First Ladies who were much more present during times of national crisis. Life after the White House. After leaving the White House, Melania has still maintained a relatively low profile, only focusing on privacy and personal affairs that keep her away from the intense public backlash because of being the First Lady of the United States. But she has not totally disappeared from the public view. She chooses to spend most of her time with her family, such as her son Barron. We understand her need for privacy because after living the life she has lived, it's only fair that you get some sort of break from being in the public's eye. There have been reports that she has been exploring new things after leaving the White House, which proves that she's carefully thinking about her future. These opportunities may include potential business ideas that reflect her interests beyond the life of politics. Melania and her son. She's trying her best to be there for her son during his early years. She has often talked about her role as a mother and how important family is to her. She talks about providing a nurturing and supportive environment for her son to grow. She has tried her best to maintain Barron's privacy and protect him from the media's spotlight, so he can live a normal childhood away from the public. Although, there's not much normal and common about being a former president's son. Melania has been actively involved in Barron's education as well, and made sure that he has access to good schools. When the Trump family had to move to Washington, D.C. for Donald Trump's presidency, Melania made sure that this change could be easier for Barron. She worked hard to make her son blend right in at a new school so he could adjust better to their new environment. Melania talks about her son in the most loving way and describes him as a kind, smart, and confident young man. She's proud of all his accomplishments. As Barron continued stepping into adulthood, Melania stayed supportive. She's there to provide him with unconditional love. This shows the world that she really prioritizes her duties as a mother. Barron Trump is her only child and the youngest one of Donald Trump's, so you can tell that he's adored by both his parents. Compared to the rest of his siblings, such as Ivanka Trump, Barron has stayed away from the public's eye. Melania might be the reason behind it because she doesn't want her son to face any backlash from the media. We can definitely say that Melania Trump's decision to stay more private and focus on her personal life shows the kind of person she is. She simply wants a sense of calm and a normal life after serving as the First Lady for a couple of years. What do you think about Melania? Make sure to let us know in the comments. While you're down there, make sure to subscribe for updates and to support the channel. Thanks for watching.